Hi all, welcome to Via Digital YouTube channel. I am Anil. Today I am going to discuss about SQL Server constraints or data integrity. First, we should know what is constraint and what is data integrity. Data integrity is nothing but a correctness of the data when we process the data into a particular column. And constraint is nothing but a we can set the some rules on the column level or a table level, and that based on the tools we can process the data into tables on a particular column. How we can use a constraint? What is the main purpose of in a database? This constraint is known as rules. It is used to limit the type of data that can go into a table. Simple example you can observe. We are all having Aadhaar cards. Each Aadhaar card can have unique number of Aadhaar number. At the same time, we can give some mobile number. We can give unique mobile number to the particular Aadhaar card. That means Aadhaar should not be same for all the persons. It be a unique value. That means unique means it will not allow the duplicate values. That purpose we can use it to maintain the data correctness. We can use it to maintain the data correctness by using SQL Server constraints. Constraints are used to maintain the accuracy and integrity of the data inside a table. Because we are creating a table, then we can process the data. How we can create a constraints on a tables? Either we can create a constraints on existing table, or maybe at the time of creation a table we can create an constraints we can derive it into two parts. One is column level constraint and second one is table level constraints. Column level constraints can have limits only column data. That means each and every column, and we can define a constraint type, or we can define a constraint type at the end of column names. We can give a constraint level. That constraint we can call it as table level constraint. And in a database, how many constraint types we have, how we can use, how we can declare at the time of creation a table, or at the time of at the after creation of a table. Now we can observe we have multiple types of constraints. One is primary constraint, unique, not null, default, check, foreign key, and another one is null. It's a default constraint. If you are not mentioning any constraint at the particular column, that automatically server assigns some default constraint. That's nothing but a null constraint. Null is nothing but a blank data, or without any values on a particular cell. That without data we can call it as null values. Now we can go one by one. What is primary key? How we can declare primary key? You can example, simple example you can observe. I have an school table. Okay, in the school I can define each school having some registered number. That registered number provided by the government, that registered number should be different each and every school. How we can give different registered numbers to the school? How we can maintain the data without any duplication? And that part we can use primary key. Primary key, when we can place a primary key constraint on any column, that will not accept any duplicate values. Example, uh, we can talk about previously school register numbers. So based on this key, we cannot give a same register number to the different schools. Different schools having different register numbers. If you want to not allow the duplicate values, we can go to the primary key. Primary key, it's a combination of uniqueness means without duplicates, plus not null. Not null is nothing but a mandatory column. Mandatory column means, simple example, when we can fill an application form, you can observe first name, middle name, last name. You can observe the some parts, some boxes, we can observe the asterisk symbol. That asterisk symbol representing that user should fill that column with some name. Same, whenever we want to process the data, some columns it's a mandatory fields. That means we can fill the some data without any blank values. And plus clustered index. Clustered index is nothing but when we can create a primary key, server automatically arrange the data in ascending order. That ascending order automatically creates it by the clustered index. So how we can use primary key on a table? Now you can observe we can create a table before indexes, before constraint and after constraint. I have created a table without any constraint. You can observe I have created a table like school. Okay, I have created table successfully, and I can create a two records. You can observe the two records. I'm planning to create a primary key on school ID. Now first table without constraint, school ID integer, school name varchar 100, and I have inserted the data into a table by using same school IDs with different school names, but data inserted into a table without any error. So in this school table, can we have uniqueness of data? No, we can assign the same school ID with different schools. So this data, it's not corrected to maintain the database. There is no data accuracy, there is no correctness of data. So how we can maintain the uniqueness? How we can restrict the duplicate values? In that part, we can use create a table with column level constraint. The table can be created with a constraint, like I have created a table with my school details, like table should be a unique name. It will not allow the duplicate names, and column names also, it will be a unique for the same table. It will not allow the duplicate column names within a table. Now you can observe, I have created a table with constraint. It is the column level constraint. Create table name and school ID integer primary key. This is my constraint name. What is a primary key? It will not allow the duplicate values, as well as it will not allow not it will not allow the null values. It is a combination of unique plus not null plus clustered index. Now you can observe, I have created primary key, and I have assigned not null. That means school name should be mandatory field, and school mobile number. We can give a we can give branch. If we can maintain the schools on location wise, each location wise having a separate mobile number for that school. So I can give unique number. We cannot give a same number to multiple schools. So we can maintain the data accuracy on this table. Now you can observe, when I am inserting a data with the same school ID, you can observe, when I am trying to insert the data, insert into school details values, 101 is my school ID, cosmic is my school name, and that school mobile number. Again, I have given to the 101, and Narayana is my school name and mobile number, and 103 DPS and mobile number. Now I am planning to execute my query. Now you can observe invalid object name school details, because I haven't created this table in my database. That's why it will show as invalid object name. Now I am trying to execute my school details table. Now completed successfully. Now you can observe, we can get an different error. Now violation of primary key constraint pk school ID. This is nothing but a constraint name. Automatically server creates a constraint name. Cannot insert a duplicate key and object with this table. The duplicate key value is 101. It's, you can read, if you can get any error message, you can read thoroughly, you can get an idea what is the error on this statement. Now I can change my table, sorry, I can change my value 101 to 102. Then I'm trying to execute this command. Now you can observe 3 rows affected. How we can read the data? In the previous session we can discuss about dql command, right? What is the dql command? Select statement, select star from school details. In the school details, it will read all the data. Now we can create a uniqueness of the data on school ID, and every time we can give into the school name, and every time we can give into the unique mobile number. It's nothing but we can process the data like this. Now you can observe how simple example. You can go first, we can go to the one by one constraint part, then we can go examples. Now you can observe the unique key. When we place a unique constraint on any column, you can observe, we can place unique constraint on which column? Here, mobile column. So when we can place the unique constraint on any column, that column cannot get the duplicate values, but it will allow one null value. If you can get again, it will again a null value. It's a duplicate, null, it's a duplicate, so it will allow the one null value, and it will not allow the any duplicate values. That means it will allow, without, if some schools doesn't have a number, they won't forget to mention, one school can accept a null value. If you can try to insert another school also, it will throw an error, because it will not allow the duplicate values. Now you can observe the not null. In previous we can discuss, not null is nothing but a mandatory field. User should enter some value to the particular column. It will not allow the blank. And check constraint, you can observe check constraint, it is used for evaluating a range condition on numeric columns. Example, I have a salary column. Okay, when I am planning to assign a salary to an employee, I can give minus 100. You can imagine, salary having the negative numbers? No, it should be greater than 0. How we cannot allow the, how we can restrict the negative numbers on the salary column? On that part we can go to the, you can observe, we can go to the student fees and check constraint. Then student fees should be a greater than or equal to 0. and it should not be a not null. We can assign multiple constraint on a single column. Like in this, student fees should be a greater than 0. It will not allow the negative numbers. That way we can define as a student fees by using check constraint. Now default, if you cannot, if you can forget any value to insert into a particular column, we can assign some default value. If I forget anything, you can take some default value on a table. Example, you can observe student city. He forget to fill the application form, his city name. I want to give default is any, then later we can update based on his providing the details. Then foreign key, mainly we can in the real time, mainly we can work on the foreign key constraint part, because we can able to create a relationship between the two tables. Like one table data will be dependent on another table data to processing the records into a child table. We can maintain the relationship as parent and child. You can observe how it will be a parent and child. You can observe master table primary key will be act as a foreign key in child table. The child table records will be inserted depends upon the master table. It is used to establish a relationship between the parent and child tables. Foreign key can accept duplicate values and null values, because you can observe simple example, one school can contains multiple students. That multiple students, when we can give a relationship, we can give one to many or many to one. So multiple students can be joined in a single school. At the same time, school refers to the multiple schools, multiple students. Foreign he has take the values from its corresponding parent table with primary key. Okay, now you can observe here. We can create a table with all the constraint. You can observe student ID, first name, middle name, last name. You can observe here student ID should not be allowed duplicate values and null values. And first name, it should be a mandatory field, and last name, it should be a mandatory field. And student email ID, it is an unique. We cannot give a other student ID to another one. We can maintain the uniqueness, or else we can maintain the student other number. Like that, we can maintain the unique number. And student city, if I cannot provide any student value at the time of insertion, automatically server will insert the data with the default value. Student fees, when we want to enter the data unexpectedly, you can enter 1000. If you can enter -1000, then it will throw an error, because we are check the condition if the particular fees should be greater than or equal to 0 or not. If not, it will throw an error. If success, then it will insert the value into a table. Then how we can give a relation, like you can observe student is joined into the school. Without school, student won't be study. So first we can create a school table. First we can understand the structure. What is the master table, what is the child table, which one is the independent table, which one is the dependent table. If we know that part, we can easy to create a relationship based on the constraint part. In this school having multiple locations, multiple schools we have, each school can have multiple students. Now you can define a in the school in the student details part, I can define as a school ID with integer. What is that foreign key? It will create a relationship between the two tables. Which table foreign key, which table it will be reference, this reference will be a school details. This student studied under this school. Like that we can process the data. Now you can observe, we can school details, already we have created a school details table. Then you can observe, I'm planning to create a new table, new inserted data into a table. We can observe here incorrect syntax near. Here we can give the unexpectedly syntax. Now you can observe I can place the multiple select statement format. One is how we can insert the data by using select statement, how we can insert the data by using column names in the normal statement. Right, we can have another method multiple statement, like we have student details. We cannot create a student details table, that's why it will not give a student details information. Like student, we have successfully created a student table. Now you can observe I am planning to create a constraint part, sorry, inserting the data. Now there are few columns, then insert statement, insert then value specified in the values class. Now you can check what it will be happen. There are fewer columns in the insert statement than values specified in the values class. The number of values in the values class must match with the number of columns. Like when you are passing the values, like you can observe here student ID, student name, first name, middle name, last name, email ID. Right, student can observe, first you can observe the table level columns. You can observe student ID, first name, middle name, last name, student email ID, student city and student fees and school ID. This statement is correct. Now you can observe, you can execute one by one, then we can see the what is the error. One row affected successfully. That means one row successfully inserted into a table. Next you can observe insert into student details, student ID, first name, last name, student email ID, student fees, school ID and values. Now you can observe student ID, first name, last name, we can miss the middle name. That means it should be a null value. We can show how we can insert it. Student email ID, okay. And student fees, we don't have a, we have a student fees but we don't have a student city. Now I want to remove this extra field. What are the columns we can pass insert into a statement? That column value should be matching, like argument should be matching. With argument does not match, it will not allow to insert the data. Now you can observe, we can try to insert second query, second part, second row will be inserted. Now we can observe the third statement. Third statement also same. Instead of that you can give student city. Why we can remove student city? Now you can observe student city column. Now you can observe here, we can try to insert on third row. Now you can read the data. You know, right, how we can read the data? By using DQL statement. Select star from student details. Now you can observe, the data. Now you can see in the first statement we can insert middle name, at the same time we can pass the city, and second statement we can observe it is a null value because we are not providing any first name, last name. We can miss the middle name column and observe the student city. If you cannot provide any student city details, what is the default value? NA. That NA will be populated into the student city column. This is the way we can create a table with constraint and insert the data, right? And how we can find the this table having constraint or not? By using this command sp underscore help constraint table name. Now you can observe sp underscore help constraint student details. It will get the list of constraint names into a particular table. The object student underscore details do not exist in a practice or invalid for the operation. Now you can observe help underscore help constraint student details. We can see cursor is near the keyword. Now underscore help. Okay, we can see either we can see below command. Okay, you can observe these the wrong, sorry for that. I can check and let you know in the comment box. And using the system tables you can observe information underscore schema dot table underscore columns. You can observe we have multiple tables in a practice database first, but we can check with the school details, right? We can filter only school tables data, like school details table, like where table underscore name equal to school details. This query will return what are the constraints will be available in this table. You can observe SQL practice database. We have a school details. We have a primary key on which column. We can check with column name school details on this part. On school details we have created two types of unique constraint. How we can check constraint? We can observe we have object explorer. We have go to the views. Okay, in this views part you can observe we have multiple system related tables, and you can observe what are the check constraints we have, what are the domain constraints we have, what are the constraint table usage, what are the keys we can column usage, and you can observe referential constraint is nothing but a foreign key, and what are the table constraints we have. Now we can see the table constraint part. Now you can observe. Now we can move into the another part, and second part you can observe here how we can create a update on cascade, on update and on cascade. You can observe here on update and on delete cascade. In these two cascade operations are used to if we can delete the parent table data, automatically the dependents child table records will be removed. If we cannot, if we can update parent records, automatically child records will be updated. Like if you have create a relation between the school and student details, right? In this school I want to change school number 103, but automatically what we have assigned that school to the student details, the details also will be updated. But you can create a on delete cascade, on update cascade when we can create a table. Now you can observe the example. Before you can observe student details part, you can observe select, like you can observe in the school part I'm trying to delete a school detail, delete from school, right? Where school id equal to 101. Now you can observe this is the parent table, but you can check with how many students are available in student table. You can observe we have 101, 101 having one student, Now I'm trying to delete a 101 school ID in the school table. It's a school is a parent table and student is a child table. I'm trying to delete a parent table record, but I have a child table records. Now you can observe it will be deleted. Delete from school where school id equal to 1, because we cannot, okay, in school we cannot maintaining the records, right? We cannot maintain the referential integrity, but you can observe school details having the school id. That school id will be act as a foreign key in student table. Sorry, I missed that table name. Details, school details. Now you can observe we can delete a table. Now you can observe the delete statement conflict with the reference constraint. That means this value should be dependent on another child record. So first you can clear the child records, then you can remove the parent record. How we can remove and how we can update parent record without getting the error? By using on delete and on cascade. Now you can observe here I have created a separate tables for this. You can observe here create table dept number, primary key and unique and default Hyderabad. I have created a table. There is an already object named department in the database. Okay, and you can observe here I have a department, and first you can read the table data, select from dept. Now you can observe this table is existing or not. This table is existing with the records. So in this table I have created in my database, and I have created a table. You can observe I have created a table with employee, and I have used the primary key constraint not null, and salary it should be greater than 1000, and department number reference to that. And I have given on delete cascade and on update cascade. What is delete cascade? When we can remove the parent table records, automatically child table records will be deleted. When we can update the parent record, automatically child records will be updated. Now you can observe here I have an employee table. I am inserting the 5 records on the employee table. Now we can read the table data also. Now you can observe employee I have 5 records. Now you can observe department 1010. It's a department 1010 20 20 and 30. Now I am update department number 30 to 40. Now parent record want to change 30 to 40. That record will be updated. Now you can run this. In the previously we have 10 10 20 20 30, but now you can observe 10 10 20 20 40, because parent table record will be updated automatically, child record will be updated. That's why we can use on cascade and on delete cascade and on update cascade. So now you can observe this part. Delete from department, automatically record will be deleted from employee table as well. So this is the way we can use on delete cascade, on update cascade. How we can delete table if we are having the child record also, by using on delete and on cascade. This is the way we can create a constraint. But now we have how we can add constraint for existing table without any constraint names. How we can add constraint for the existing table with constraint name. As of now we are creating a constraint without constraint name, but now we can try to create a constraint on existing table. That means add a constraint on existing table without name, add a constraint on existing table with constraint name. First table you can observe I have created a table. First you can observe the table I don't have any constraint. First I have created a two simple tables without any constraint. After creating a table I want to add a constraint on existing tables. I have created two tables. Now you can observe alter. I want to add a constraint for the not null columns. We cannot give an add. We can alter the column. Alter table department number one. Alter column. We can observe. We can observe the DDL commands, create, alter, drop, truncate. In the in that alter command we can use to alter the column constraint part. Alter table department number one, alter column name, alter column department number. In this department number I want to add not null constraint. That means it will not allow a blank values. And at the same time employee number also, it will alter the command. Now you can observe, you can go to your table and expand and see the constraint part. Now you can observe here I want to add a constraint. I want to add a constraint, primary key, unique key and default. Now alter table name, and which constraint you want to add primary key on which column, department number, unique on department name, default Hyderabad. If we cannot provide any value for the location, automatically it will be taking as a Hyderabad as a default. Now you can observe automatically department is already the primary key, so you can observe department number one. Now you can observe this part. It will get executed because we can give a same department table previously, and employee table also you can check. The same way we can create an employee table. That these queries will work how we can add a constraint on existing table, not a new table. We can create an constraint at the time of creation a table or after creation a table. This part is after creation a table. Now you can observe we can create a constraint on an existing table with constraint name. You can observe the first part and second part. You can get an idea. You can observe the employee table, employee one, alter table, table name, add constraint. What do you want add? It's nothing but a add constraint prk. It's nothing but a constraint name, primary key of employee number. This is the way we can create a constraint on each and every table. And final one, how we can dropping the constraint by the name. If you don't know the constraint name, previously we can see that query part, right? How we can see that constraint on existing table, like you can observe constraint name information underscore schema dot table underscore constraint, where table name equal to school details. That we can identify the constraint name and we can provide the constraint name here automatically. This command will be drop the constraint on existing table. This is the way we can create a constraint. It's a major responsibility on the table. When we can create a table, when we can process the data, it's a very important concept. Like these concepts are used to correctness of the data and manage the data integrity part. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my Via Digitally channel. We can connect with next session with new concept. Thank you very much.